I really want to put emphasis in this project on a connection to nature, and especially in this weird and unprecedented time. I really want to explore how our digital world and the natural world interact, especially whilst we're asked to stay home. Um, yeah, yeah, no, I love going out. Um, I really miss going for walks that are sort of a bit further away. No, I love exploring the public footpaths around by where I live. Um, there's loads of really nice places to walk, and like it's always I always come back feeling really excited and like full of ideas. Um, and hmm, it's just nice to get out. It's nice to put your feet in the mud, and it's obviously not without shoes on, but it's nice to just sort of go out and see the birds and the sky and the plants, and it's nice to watch the seasons change across the time. Yeah, no, it's really important to me um, to be able to go out. Yeah, like this time last year, I had really, really bad knee pain, so I couldn't go out as much as I would have liked to. I really found it difficult to walk. Um, and during lockdown, especially, I was able to strengthen my knees. I did loads of walking, especially with my dad because he was on furlough. It was really nice. It was really nice. Yeah, I really want to emphasize our connection with nature, and how nature and mental health have a very strong link. And I think there's ways to connect to nature even if you're not able to leave the house. And I think that especially if you can sit by a window or open the door, then even just having fresh air really helps. If you can watch the birds, um, I love feeding the birds. It's really nice, and there's so many of them, and they're so much fun to watch. Um, yeah, it's really weird, and it's nice because they've all got their own characters, and they've all got different personalities. It's really cute. Um, I think it's interesting how the digital world and the natural world interact. I think there's some element of the digital world that is able to explore nature and like what it means to be in nature, but I don't think it'll ever have that. There's like a feeling when you go outside that like everything is so much bigger than you, and when you're looking into a screen, it doesn't come quite anywhere near that. And I think that's really the difference. Like when you go outside, the sky is so big. Like if you look at the stars at night time and everything is so big and you feel very small, but not in a bad way. But like you don't get the same feeling when you're on your computer. Um, it's not the same bigness because it's reduced to this little screen. Um, but I think it's interesting how you can use the internet to explore places that you wouldn't necessarily have explored. Or one time I went on a virtual reality thing, not on my computer, but before lockdown, and I went into the sea, and a seal, no, an otter, is it a seal? A sea lion, I don't know, took me under the water, and then there was a whale, and that like took me under the water, and then there was a giant squid, and that took me under the water. It was really cool. I think it's really interesting how technology can help you explore stuff like that. But also, I think having technology can also connect you with other people that can encourage you to go out, or like encourage you to explore new spaces, um, or like open your mind to other like ways of looking at the outside. Because like you might walk down the path and I might walk down the path and see completely different things. Like I walk past a hedge and see like all these plants and trees that are full of like corresponding healing and like physical healing, but also like energetic healing um, abilities, and like they all have their own characters. Whereas you might walk past the hedge and just not even notice the hedge. So I think it's really interesting, especially because hedgerows are such like they're such wild places and such like they're such important like physical spaces, not just for us, not just for the wildlife, but like we have such a long history of working with the trees in the hedgerows to create these spaces which become like the boundary between um, the domesticated and the wild. And especially like hawthorn, which is a very common hedgerow plant, has is very like protective energy and very it's a lovely tree to work with, and I think we're very lucky to have such nice trees and stuff around here. I'm really glad I live where I live. Um, it definitely makes things like the lockdown a lot easier. I think if I lived in a city, I think it'd be a lot harder. But when I lived in Manchester, it was really nice because there was some magpies that lived in the alley behind my house, and they were really entertaining. There was never a boring moment when they were there. There's magpies that live here as well, but not as many. Oh, they're just spread out. But there is crows that live in the field by my house. They live in the big tree in the field, and they're always up to some drama. And my favourite thing is when they fly up with an acorn, and they fly really, really high, really fast, and then they drop the acorn. I don't know what they're up to, but it's really fun to watch. And it always, like, if I'm recording a podcast or if I'm recording a video, inevitably there will be a moment when I'm like, oh, a crow just threw an acorn on the floor, and it's just like that. Yeah, it's really interesting. I went out yesterday and I saw some really nice lichen, and it was so bright, like bright yellow, bright green, bright orange, and it's like it's amazing that these things occur naturally and are just like they're like also indicators of the space that we live in, like the air quality, like what grows there and what doesn't grow there. I think that's really interesting. What was the question again?